Hello and welcome to Nolo Time. This is episode 141. My name is Jose Velez, and with me is the freak of the week, Joel Young.
Yes, I am. What's good, guys? Good to be with you all. No, I know. That's like one of my major complaints, dude, with every single one of those CW shows, why I can't watch them. I know people who've told me, look, Joel, there's nothing else new on TV. Go back and watch like a CW show that you gave up on, like Legends of Tomorrow. I'm like, no Freak of the Week on my TV.
The freak of
Sorry.
the week on Joel's TV.
Not on my
That's how he rolls. Not even with the Power Rangers. He only watched
TV.
he only watched the episodes where they actually stitched together, like multi it was multi episodes. Although
That's
although
right.
when you started watching Power Rangers, they were already at like Wild Force or something. So I'm dating myself. Like I'm a
Old man, old
OG
bit.
Mighty
Back in
Morphin.
my day.
Yeah, back in the Mighty Morphin days. It was all freak of the week.
Ooh, wow.
What's up? Yeah.
Man, man,
So,
I'm trying to still be well here. I mean, I can't complain much, but I got to say that there's definitely now that dry spot of TV and movies is really getting rough. That's something that I enjoy on my weekends or whatnot, and I had an opportunity to rent some stuff on from Redbox, some free promo code that got sent to me, and I was like, okay, great, cool. Let me look at what's new. And I'm like, man, okay, if your options are like Bloodshot or Doolittle, you know,
oh, and there's the Doolittle with
uh,
Downey, right?
yeah, I've already
Oh, I
seen that
heard.
movie. So,
Is it
but
trash?
it's for me, it's a kid's movie. Like if you're looking at it as an adult, like it's not a good movie. I'm just gonna be
Okay,
honest with you. Like if you watch it with your kid, you'll probably have a good time.
gotcha. Yeah, I totally forgot that
But
movie was a
Bloodshot, I
thing.
mean, come on, dude. Like, is that really like a movie you want to sit down and I don't know, man. I
It's
don't
funny
know.
because Vin Diesel plays the same character in every movie except Guardians of the Galaxy, where
It's
he's
true, and most people don't
actually
realize it's him.
yeah. And but yeah, it's like in every movie he's the same. Riddick, he's basically blind Toretto, and all these things. It's
It's
funny.
wild.
Yeah, no, and but yeah, no, not much on my end either. Finished RE3. That was short and sweet. That was basically I told you it was about 10 hours. I think RE2 played for like 23, 24 hours maybe, uh,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I found this one to be definitely shorter. So it does really feel like an expansion of RE2. Crazy that they actually charged $60 for this game because more like a $40 experience if you ask me, which makes sense why they never released like a deluxe version of it. Um, it does have a lot of unlockables though. Like when you finish the game, it's like an old school. It's like RE4. You finish the game and then you get a bunch of unlockables that you can do during your second playthrough. But it's good. I really enjoyed it. Like I mentioned last time, there's a few mechanics that make it a little bit different. Um, there's a if you played RE4, you remember the cabin sequence. So there's a sequence that's very similar to the cabin on RE4. I think maybe RE4 could be a little bit more challenging because this one you do have a lot of mobility that you don't have on RE4 because RE4 you can't move and shoot and you're limited by basically the controls. So there's a really good sequence. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good time. So the only downside to it was that it was a short experience. If you want to say that's something that's a downside to it. Um, how long? I'm trying to remember how long was God of War. I think God of War was like 18, maybe 16, 18 hours. That was probably the shortest game I've played before this one. That was not like a multi, you know, a 2, 3 dozen hour game. It's funny because actually ended up putting 100 hours on Final Fantasy VII Remake. I didn't even
Wow.
notice. I didn't even notice it, dude. Because it's crazy. I have Final Fantasy 15. I think I put like 170 hours on that game because I explored every freaking nook and cranny of that world map, man. You know how much I love that game, dude. So
Oh, absolutely.
I've said it ad nauseum already. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's really good, especially now with all of the added uh, story bits and items and all the basically like the dailies and all this stuff that they added. It's still really good. I haven't played it in a while. I may pop it in and see what's up. Um, but yeah, this was definitely the shortest game I played in a while. The shortest like AAA game that I played in a while. But even with that, I really enjoyed it through and through. It was good. I actually started a second run, which I think I'm just gonna finish before start Ghost of Tsushima that should
I
be here
know.
tomorrow. Yeah. Very good reviews for that, Joe. I'm really excited. I haven't watched any other videos, anything else since that last behind the scenes video that PlayStation put out. Um, yeah, I'm really excited for that game, man. It's like basically nice across the board. GameSpot gave it a 7, but
Yeah,
it
that was a
was
strange one.
it was like IGN's Death Stranding like 6.8 or whatever.
Yeah,
It was like an off one. But like even in Japan, like Famitsu gave it a perfect score, and you know, it's doing really well. So PS4 is going out with a bang. We'll talk PS5 and Xbox Series X uh, towards the end of the show, because now we have to do our mandatory 25 minutes to half hour Star Wars update.
oh, it's good. It's on. He's got the shirt on,
I
guys. If
had
you're
the
watching the
shirt. I
video version, he is
I got
fully in.
yep. Do you want to start with the news or do you want to start with the rumors?
I want the rumors, actually.
Okay. So our friend Overlord DVD that we've mentioned a few times already uh, did another video basically saying that that last year, sometime before November, the movie was screened, and we've heard that from multiple sources already. So we know that there's multiple versions of this movie because there were reshoots in November, and we know that's a fact because we knew about it, and you know it's out there, it's confirmed. So before that, there was apparently two screenings. One of the screenings that we've talked about was what we've called the JJ cut, which was basically almost the same movie but with a different ending of sorts, and things were done a little bit different. But now, and apparently this was a rumor that started like late last year. Joel, I started watching other videos on the topic, but allegedly, and this one I would take with those lamps made out of rock salt that you buy. I would take it with one of those, not a grain of
Yeah, you need
salt.
a lot for this.
Uh, Apparently and allegedly, there was a George Lucas cut of The Rise of Skywalker that was allegedly a 40% different from what we got in the movie theaters. Things were done differently, very, very differently, allegedly, with a crazy good ending. And apparently, the movie was really good. That's what consensus seems to be based on rumors. Um, the rumor is that when this movie was screened, uh, Kennedy was not too excited and went ahead and did the JJ reshoots, and the movie changed completely. Then allegedly, someone that was at Skywalker Ranch during the screening has images of scenes in the movie. I mean, those images haven't leaked. Allegedly, this person has the images. They haven't leaked them out. They haven't posted them out. But they said that they actually describe some sequences. It's basically like when instead of just being Solo's spirit confronting Ben, it was basically all three of them. It was, Luke, Leia, and Han. There were changes to uh, the ending. There were Anakin was in the movie, like Hayden Christensen, who we know was in the movie because people saw him on set and they said it. Like it's known. Him and Ben had a talk and this things, right? So amongst a few things, those are the things that I remember. But Joe, I know that you're like, nah, bro, because we talked about this before. But just before I say whether or not I believe it, just go ahead and give us your opinion, sir. The big one.
Yeah, it's a big one because I feel like my feelings towards this, I don't want to be blinded by my feelings. And my feelings right now is none of this is true. For the most part. But my heart wants it to be. Like, I want this.
Christina Aguilera, you're getting a little bit emotional here.
It's Star Wars. It's heavy. No, but I mean, like, okay, like think about this for a second. Just the whole concept that there's a George Lucas cut, right? That would be super awesome. But there's a lot of questions that come with that. Doesn't make just because there's questions don't make it not true. But I'm just saying there's so many factors that go into George coming in to edit a movie. I don't think George would just come in and say, here, let me touch with this and make some tweaks. I think he would want to first say, look, you have to first film these things that I want. And first he has to know what the story and agree with whatever the original script was. And then secondly, if he agreed with it even just slightly, like then he would say, this is the stuff that I want to make sure that you add in that are specifically George inspired. And I just feel like when I watch Rise of Skywalker and I hear and I see the what's being said, can't imagine that George, even if it was 3 or 4 things different, I can't imagine that George would have done half the stuff that was done in that movie.
Okay.
I just can't. I can't imagine George saying like, "Yeah, I know you guys did this stuff, but as long as I get my 3 scenes and maybe a couple other small CGI edits or something, like I'm okay with this." Because the story is so, like, it's so JJ-esque when you compare it to like The Force Awakens, where it felt very much like a rehashing of things.
Collaboration, more of a collaboration, yeah.
Yeah, like we're like with Rise of Skywalker, he's trying to take us full circle the things that have come from before and where they are now, and try and bring this whole thing. But at the same time, the whole thing about having the scenes of the three of the big three coming together on screen together, the thing of Hayden talking to Kylo. Yeah, I thought I heard something of really him talking to Rey or something at one point. One of them was like him sitting down next to Rey or something. Yeah, of like her saying like it's really hard because she thought she almost killed Chewie or something. I can't remember what the rumor was.
That's what it was. Yeah. So she thought she killed Chewie, and that's when he showed up. Yeah, you got it.
Right,
yeah.
like to comfort her or something, right? Like it's hard, like it always is, or something. And he sits down next to her and starts talking. Sounds like a really cool scene. that one, like hearing those kinds of pieces, I can definitely see being just regardless of take George Lucas out of this altogether, whether he is or isn't. I could totally see that being a thing because, like you said, the Hayden Christensen stuff has been there's been a lot of heat behind that, and we're going to talk about that more in a second. But then even more so, like the think about having Hayden come in at the end of the movie and he does that whole Ray voiceover. And he's very prominent voice in that entire scene. Like, think about how much that probably played into him also coming on set and filming something. Like, I don't think you just would get him to come in and do a voiceover. I'm pretty sure he also came in and filmed some scenes. So, yeah, man, like I don't think any of this stuff is happening or happened exactly the way that it's being put out there. And if you have screenshots of this stuff, why not leak them? Like, isn't it worse to leak I have this, but I'm not putting it out there? Like
Yeah.
that's like, but then why not? Like, why not give it to a DVD overlord and say, like, you put it out there. I didn't put it out there.
So yeah. So here's the thing, right? I mean, because he keeps saying that the information that he has is secondhand information. So this is
Right.
someone that knows someone that was in there. So um here's the thing with Overlord. I don't why would you risk basically like being singled out as like the cosmic book news of YouTube? And why would you risk that when you're actually like interacting with your fans? Because we've saw like during the last few weeks he's done 2 or 3 live streams like as himself, not as the character. I don't want
Doom
to
clock.
say that. Yeah, clock. So yeah, thanks, Joel. Thanks for the edit. So I don't think I don't see him. And he when he talks like on his live streams, he really seems like an earnest. He sounds like an older guy, maybe my age, maybe a little bit older. Like he sounds like an honest guy that loves Star Wars and wants to see Star Wars be something that the fans are excited about. Um, and he sounds earnest and he doesn't sound like he's lying, at least to me. I don't think that any YouTuber right now would risk their reputation and say it's like, oh yeah, this guy, remember that all that bullcrap that he used to say about Star Wars? That ain't true. Don't listen to him. Why would he risk this, right? I guess we'll see at the end of summer because allegedly that's the thing. What you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think he does have sources. I just don't know if I trust his sources. Like I think he's like genuinely believes what he's being told because he believes the source that it's coming from. Even though
Okay.
he's saying like, and I think I appreciate that he always says like it is a rumor. Like he's not like this is gospel. He's like this is what I'm hearing and this is how I feel about it. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
that's
it. So
true. That's true.
I actually appreciate how he relays the information. I don't know that that source is entirely
Reliable.
yeah, reliable and level-headed.
Yeah.
You talk to
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
multiple people in an organization, you get many different responses sometimes.
Yeah. Well, one thing he said, Joel, is that at that there's going to be a big like announcement thing at the end of summer, just like what you were
And I have no
predicting.
sources, and I'm predicting that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So I guess we'll wait until I guess first week of September. That's when he said that these things are gonna be announced and happen. Maybe they'll announce George Lucas cut at Disney Plus, or maybe they'll announce it's like new action figure line from so and so company. Oh, something dumb, right? Um, which I don't want to go into the action figure thing now because we got Star Wars news to talk about that sort of kind of connect to what we're talking about here.
Sure.
Um, but the uh, I know this for a fact because I used to go to Target on a weekly basis before the human malware issue that we're having. Um, and I've seen the Star Wars, the lackluster Star Wars toy section for the last since the Last Jedi has
Yeah.
been pretty crap. I'd say the last cool thing that I saw was the Falcon that came out when Solo came out. That's probably the last piece of really solid like Star Wars toy that I saw. Um, not counting Lego, because Lego's on. I mean, Lego's Lego. Lego is they're doing their own thing, right? So it does matter. And that has been a point of contention within Disney. With Disney being
They're very big on toy sales.
on exactly on merchandise and toy sales, um, and seeing how bad like Star Wars has done for the last 2 years, that has concerned some of the investors. So they really want to move forward with something big, whatever that is. We'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, right now that's update we got on the Star Wars rumors, man. Um, well, not really, because allegedly Hayden Christensen will play a big role in the Kenobi series, which at this point I think is going to be more of a 6-hour Kenobi movie rather than a series. My best guess, Joe, is that he will be in a lot of flashbacks, Clone War flashbacks, and quite possibly be Vader himself in the series. Um, and we're tying it back to Rise of Skywalker. For some reason, fans are clamoring for Hayden Christensen right now. This would be a really big thing for them to do. So I am 100% behind it. Bring him in, let him do his thing. Do some decent Vader makeup so you can finally retcon Vader from 100% from Return of the Jedi, and give us a good series. But yeah, man.
Absolutely, yeah. So that the rumor comes from a website called Latino Review. I used to read them for years ago. The same guy that reported the whole Michael Keaton Batman thing, that was true. He used to work for them years ago, and I remember reading his stuff there because it was like dead on when it came to exclusives. And he left them later on. Obviously, now he mentioned he's with the Rap. Most of the stuff he breaks there is superhero related, and it's pretty legit. So Latino Review has been kind of out of the spotlight for a long time when it comes to exclusives. If you even go to their website and click on the exclusive section, it's mostly just interviews with actors. Like that's like their main like kind of thing. So, but when they used to be back in the day in the game, like on the rumor front, they used to be really dead on with their Star Wars stuff,
They were on
especially.
point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember there a few years ago they were really on point.
So for them to come out and just and put this out there, I really believe this. Is it a done deal? Maybe not, but whatever they've heard, I believe. So Hayden coming back in, for a big role, not just a cameo. Like they're expressing that he will be in throughout the series. You have to have then the Vader presence like throughout the show. There and I would believe that because even though we get that whole famous sequence in A New Hope where they sense one another the way that they do and confront one another. I mean, Obed, can we see a remake of some of these kinds of this iconic moment? Could we see like would fans be mad about that? I don't think so, dude, because we've seen that YouTube video where these guys did the face face over technology.
Yeah,
And
the
it
the
was
remake of the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader,
right in A New
the
Hope.
scene 34 or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I'm like I could totally, especially that this Kenobi series is just that it's an exclusive one-time thing. They're not saying they're gonna do it. This is it. Like this is what we're getting. It's not gonna be like Mandalorian season 1 and then there's season like this is not a season 1. This is just a season kind of thing. Is how they're pitching it right now. So yeah, you can't miss out on the opportunity of having Ian McGregor and Hayden Christensen together on screen and having the multiple points, dude, I really feel like there could be a moment that we could be leading up to a remake of that sequence.
Can you imagine this whole series being like The Witcher, being like on different time frames, and then the last episode brings everything together, and they're already on the Death Star, and then the fight happens?
If it's done right, yes.
Can you imagine that?
If it's done right, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Don't give me hope.
In my dreams, man. I don't know. I don't know. I would love to see it, but I do believe he's in it significantly.
Yeah.
I think that's a great opportunity. And I know people be like, don't touch. No. It's okay. Because with the technology we have now and like the people clamoring for Hayden to come back, which is so strange, dude, because this guy got crushed by some of these fans years ago. And then
I know.
This classic Star Wars, man. Some
Yeah.
Star Wars fans are very, very sensitive when it comes to these things.
It's something else. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, if this is real, I'm really, really excited. Definitely looking forward to Kenobi and to Mando season 2.
For sure.
And we'll see, man. But next year, Joel, we will get a new Star Wars show. And our dudes from the beginning of the last season of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, are getting their own series. This sounds to me like they're doing an A-team sort of thing. Like, it's like this is because it's supposed to be like right after the Clone Wars ended, and we know when the Clone Wars ended was with Order 66. So that would be pretty cool. They're going around the galaxy doing wet work and yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah. So that's all we know. I'm assuming Dave Filoni is in charge of this project.
He is. Yep.
So yeah, man. Pretty pretty exciting.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I mean, there's a lot of questions around it. To be honest, when I first heard the official news, I was like, I'm just excited to have something Clone Wars-esque come out and with Filoni. So I was just excited about that announcement alone. But then when I started digesting a little bit, I was like, okay, there's no direction that there will be Jedi, because obviously the timing of when the last show ended. And it is kind of strange when you watch anything Star Wars and there isn't anything Force, like the Force around, not necessarily even just Jedi, but just the Force being in it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and I've heard a few people say this, right? But like Star Wars is the Force, right? Like it's if it's just a spaceship flying in space, like it's not
Star Trek.
there, right? But if it has the Force, you're in it. So I'm curious if Ahsoka will be in the show. I'm curious if Vader will be in the show. Maybe Vader's hunting them. Maybe they end up working for Vader. And then they don't realize it, and things change. Echo did he not get chipped or got just chip fried? Because of what happened in Clone Wars. There's a lot of speculation. I look forward to seeing it. I don't need to figure it all out now. I look forward to seeing whatever Filoni's got.
So, here's just a random theory. There's something that I learned recently that I didn't know about the Death Troopers. And the Death Troopers were basically clones that stayed with Palpatine, because we know that a lot of the majority of the clone army got decommissioned because of PTSD, and they started malfunctioning after Order 66 and all that stuff.
It ended up becoming actual volunteers.
Exactly. Recruits. Yeah, because they started recruiting after that. But the Death Troopers, I heard, were actually clones that stayed within their programming and stayed loyal, and they were basically given like cybernetic enhancements. So maybe we'll see the beginning of the Death Troopers, of whatever clones are left. And
one of them turns bad because of Order 66, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Bad Batch is probably not going to be, because I don't think the Bad Batch were shipped. I think they were different, right? That's the whole thing of the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I hope we see like remnants of the clone army becoming the Death Troopers, and then going against these guys, or the beginnings of like the Rebel Alliance and this stuff. Or not really the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance, because we saw that on Rebels, but the beginnings of something, kind of like what we saw in Solo. So
Right.
yeah. So Maul's around at that time.
The Syndicate. Can we start
Yeah,
seeing him the early days of him being in the Syndicate, like how we
exactly.
saw at the end of Clone Wars?
Yeah. Because because he's around for a few more years. Like if this takes uh place right after the Clone Wars, Maul's around for another like 17 years. So
Right.
maybe Maul would be a big part of it.
Which will also be remade in live action. That sequence of between Maul and Obi-Wan in that Obi-Wan series.
Oh, it could potentially be, Joe. Don't give me hope.
Can they just remake a bunch of really cool moments?
Stop. Stop. It's just each episode it's remakes of
If
really
our
cool
if our listeners didn't know, Obi-Wan is Obed and I, both of our personal favorite Star Wars characters. So yeah, you have a Kenobi series come out.
All right. Let's move. Let's move to our dudes on Marvel. Because apparently there's stuff happening with the Netflix I should say properties or what or the properties that were licensed to Netflix. It started with a rumor early this week that John Bernthal will reprise the Punisher. We don't know to which extent, if it's going to be an FX thing or if it's going to be a Hulu thing. More than likely, that's probably what it is. Allegedly, the story is not going to mention what happened in the Netflix series, but it will be sort of like a spiritual continuation to that. And, potentially a movie. But it's out there. And there's also very strong rumors that Marvel Studios already reached out to Charlie Cox because they really liked him and fans really liked him about reprising Matt Murdock / Daredevil. So pretty exciting. I still need to finish Punisher. I still need to finish. You know what? That's gonna be my quarantine goal, Joe. Finish all of the Marvel Netflix stuff because I never finished it. So yeah, it should be exciting if these guys are going to be back in one way or another. You know what? Maybe they'll just put it on Hulu and they can sell that combo subscription for Disney Plus and Hulu because they've been pushing it quite a bit. So what do you think, man?
Ooh, so my instant reaction to Bernthal coming back is you have to have Charlie back, and you might even be able to get in a Luke Cage at some point, like something like I could see because like there were certain people that were very prominent like in their roles, and I remember the first season of Luke Cage being pretty successful, probably more successful than even the Punisher was, to be honest with you, which is why I find it interesting of all the ones to bring back, Punisher would be the one. But at the same time, I think it's because, think about it, Marvel Studios puts out all kinds of different movies, but all the movies that they put out are always family friendly.
Yeah.
You can probably make Daredevil family friendly. You could probably make Jessica Jones family friendly, Iron Fist family friendly, Luke Cage family friendly. You can't make the Punisher friendly. The Punisher is not the show that you say, come on, kids, let's get around the fireplace and watch the Punisher tonight.
No.
That ain't the show for you.
Nope.
So I can see why them saying, look, we'll take all those other characters, if they do use them or whatever they decide to do, like it will be used in something that's a larger part of the Marvel universe, their film universe, I'd think first, if not their film, then even their Disney Plus universe, right? The one's more prominent, right? But I don't think you put the Punisher anywhere near any of that other stuff. Yeah, but they don't want the character not to just not make anything with him, right? There's something out there, there's fans out there, you might as well keep the rights to him, put something out with it. So I think it's a smart move. But the funny thing about this is it triggered another thing of mine that I remember hearing like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And there's like serious rumors out there that like since the stuff about the Michael Keaton coming in as Batman, that Marvel has been thinking the exact same way. And the rumors are like super generic. There's no direct indication. Some people might assume, but I remember when I was hearing it, the guy was like, no, like it's not exactly how you might think. Like it's basically like Marvel's looking at bringing back like people that and specific actors that people really liked.
Nicolas
And
Cage as Ghost Rider.
I don't know, man, but look, like it's not
Best.
like so the first guess would probably be like a Tobey Maguire and like Andrew Garfield stuff. But dude, I I think it's something very different than that. I think Marvel's I mean Hugh Jackman, I don't know, but I can definitely see like when I hear stuff like this, I think Feige's starting to think, and even you read the article, it talks about a multiverse. Now, the source where this came from, Geek something, I don't know them. I think it's like a podcast or something.
Yeah,
But it definitely triggered something else I had heard before
yeah.
that made me start to process and say, okay, this sounds like on par with some other stuff I've heard.
I did see. I think IGN reported on it too. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, uh, Deborah Wall probably back because she was important. Um, and I think I think I heard in not too long ago an interview with her saying that she hasn't been able to find a job after Daredevil,
Yeah. Yeah.
work. So
It's
it's
crazy.
rough. We know Rosario Dawson's not going to be back because we know what she's doing. So
A little
she's
bit
moved
busy.
on. She's moved a little bit. Yeah, she's moved on. She's fine. But yeah, it's exciting. I really, really, really enjoyed um, the Punisher. Oh, do you see the Big Show is interested in playing Kingpin too? He
I
said last week.
did. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
I was like, you know what?
I love the Wilson Fisk on that was on the Daredevil show, but yeah,
Yeah,
this dude,
yeah. Because Vincent D'Onofrio was great because he was super
yeah,
menacing. But like Big Show, I could see it. He's freaking 7'2". He's huge, big guy. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I mean, he's an okay actor, but yeah, the Kingpin, so it's fine. He'll be fine. But yeah. Pretty exciting. Joel, I think I had there was another rumor. I'm trying to think what it was. I think it was a DC rumor, but I just can't really remember exactly what it was. No, it might be just my exposure to Henry Cavill and
PC.
his skill. But yeah, his skill building a PC, which has lit the internet on fire. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Uh, but no, there was something else. If I remember, I'll probably just jump in and say what it was. But there was another rumor that pertained to I think
Oh,
a
is it the
DC property.
Gotham show that's going to be coming out on HBO Max? That was pretty cool. I don't know if you got to see that, but I know
I saw something
I
about it.
thought that was pretty cool because it's the same director from the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
In his large deal with Warner's, is he's taking literally a Gotham police officer show he's going to put on HBO Max that's going to directly tie into the movies, and I think that's like a really cool, fun. Like I'm here for this, so I thought that was good news for DC for sure.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds good. Um, I think it's going to be interesting because if it's the same director, you can bring the same universe and the same look.
Oh, it's guaranteed to be the same
So
universe. Yeah.
yeah, it's makes sense.
And
Like they
especially
really
with the
wanted to
time,
make something of it.
especially with all the subscriptions they're about to get in 2021 when everyone subscribes for
I
Justice League,
know.
the director's cut. And if you drop that show around the same time, it's a smart way to keep people staying subscribed, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, pretty good stuff, man. Um, all right, let's talk about gaming.
Yeah.
So Microsoft, we got two pieces of news from Microsoft today. Um, they're already stopping production of the Xbox One X and the Xbox One SAD, the digital edition, the S all digital. So that's ending. Again, this goes back to that rumor that we talked. What was it, last week or the week before, about the Series S? That's basically the Series S will be kind of like in the same ballpark. Maybe basically it's an Xbox One X with a faster CPU. That's what we speculated, and it will not have a disk drive. So it looks like that's basically what there is. They're consolidating these two consoles into the one Series S, and they're gonna leave the Xbox One S as like their last gen device, and moving forward with the Series S and the X, which Joe, can that game the box art for those Xbox games that are enhanced for Series X, could they have any more X's on that box?
And it's, I mean, like even the main one, that big little green, right on the smacked right on the front, covering up art design.
Looks awful, right?
Because that's exactly what it's doing. It's covering up like literally the box, like significantly. It's not even, if you had a small little thing. No, it's like a big badge. Look at me. I am acknowledging that you can play me on next gen. Okay, I get it.
And
Strange.
Yeah, that's a strange choice for the box art. Yeah, a lot of fans were not really excited about that because it's the same box as the Xbox One. Basically, it has a slash with the Series X and the enhanced sticker on it. Yeah, it looks not good. Anywho, but yeah, and they are ending production. Not a lot to say there. They're probably just moving resources to the new consoles, because I'm assuming they're starting production very, very soon on those, if they're not already being produced out there. We still don't know what they have for next week, for the 23rd. That's going to be their first party announcements. I know that Jeff Keighley posted that tomorrow he's going to have, or tomorrow, if you're listening this on Friday, it'll be today, but that will be on Friday, the 17th of July. It's like I've been at home for 2 weeks. Like, I don't know what that is. So tomorrow, Jeff Keighley is going to have an in-depth look at the DualSense on YouTube. So stuff's happening. Like this things are moving ahead. I can see where this makes sense, where you just discontinue the Xbox One X to move resources to the new consoles, especially if you're having a console that's going to be sort of a bridge device between the two. Yeah, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good business decision, I think. Like to some degree, like they have to. They are realizing that like next gen is what they have to just completely buy into right now for them. I'm not saying that that's the only way for them to survive, but like it's the past has to be just that, the past for Microsoft, and they really need to continue to move forward and move the messaging behind their new Xbox consoles. So yeah, I mean, this news doesn't necessarily surprise me.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're making some moves. Also, Joel, they didn't put out an official statement, but people noticed that the option for the 1 year subscription for Xbox Live Gold is gone.
Gone. It might be free, they're suggesting.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because when you select Xbox Live Gold, now it gives you a 3-month option. It doesn't give you the full year. So
Some point.
are they going to keep it quarterly? Are they going to, not make those online features free? I mean, they started the charge for the online thing, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they have, well, right now they have the infrastructure for, do not charge for online use, right? And Sony as well, because Sony, we know that Sony and Microsoft, they already announced a partnership, and they're going to be working together to use Azure for their cloud services. So uh, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't see it becoming free. It's going to get revamped for sure. What I think it
Yeah.
is that they are either going to change the price and bundle other stuff to it on it. So maybe I think it's probably because of the X Cloud. It's coming out. They announced that it's going to be out in September. So maybe and that's going to be bundled with Game Pass, the premium Game Pass. So maybe they have to be working on some new pricing structure for it that would make more sense. Maybe they're going into a monthly structure instead of and just bundling everything. It's like, oh, with a $15 a month, you get everything. You get online, you get Game Pass, and you get X Cloud. You get a $5 a month one, and you just get the online, and then you get a $10 a month with just a Game Pass. Maybe they'll do something like that. Maybe they'll, because I feel like they could, that gaming is due to move into a monthly subscription model for their services, like PSN and Xbox Live. For sure, they should do that. Nintendo's cheap, so it doesn't really matter. It's $20 a year, and that's it. But for this guys, I can see them moving into that direction. So yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know much to say there, but yeah, Xbox One X, it's only out for a couple of years, dude. But 3 years?
Yeah, but they got to move into, they got to leave that behind them. They want you to get the new one, and even though it's going to anger people who just literally just bought this new thing, like
Yeah.
they have no choice but to go all in. They can't try and juggle both.
Yeah. Just scrolling through the comments here real quick, and yeah, like it basically, like, there's one user here saying that that his suspicion is, like what I was saying, is that the Xbox Series S is basically gonna be an X Mini, and they're gonna sell for cheap, so without a disk drive. That's what I thought originally, so it would make sense to me. Last bit of news that I have here, Joe, is that we talked about it, I believe, last week as well, where we talked about the new manufacturing process that Sony has for PlayStations and how they can push a console out every 30 seconds. So Sony had a projection of around 5 million units for the PS5 when it comes out this fall. They moved that projection to 9 to 10 million, so basically doubled their projection of consoles shipped out worldwide. Definitely good news if you're looking to get a console. if you're looking to get into a console this year, definitely good news. I will wait and see. This is I've come to the conclusion that this is a 2021 purchase for me. So I will wait and see. I'll let you guys test it out. Let me know how it is, Joe. So if you get it with Spidey and you like it, let me know how that is, man.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Really
still contemplating.
You're still, yeah. I know you're still on the fence. So we'll probably find out soon, because I think they're probably going to reveal pricing and date next week. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, with like what Overlord says. So with salt shakers. So yeah. Yeah, big news, Joe. If you're definitely looking to get into a PS5, it looks like they're going to be out there, but I'm pretty sure that scalpers amongst angry parents will be looking for one. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a good move, especially that they have the infrastructure already in place to make this stuff get ramped up. I mean, looking at the article I was reading was just simply stating it that you know people are gaming more than ever, especially with the health crisis. That there's so many people that are online that are gaming like crazy, and you got to be prepared for people to want this the moment it comes out. It's like people need some good news, and having a new game console with this kind of excitement around it, you better have enough. The last thing you want is negativity because you just weren't ready. And
Absolutely.
I think it just makes sense if they can do it. And so, yeah, they gotta get that price point out there soon. It sounds like it is around the corner. Um, I man, I know it sounds crazy because when you hear about like, okay, this thing's going to be a pricey console. I'm not saying it's going to be obnoxious, but it's going to be a few $100s. Like people right now going through what they're going through, there's many that you would say how are they going to be able to afford a new console during what the economic status is for many people around the world. And my argument to that is what I mentioned to you, Obed, earlier offline was simply, look, when when the situation happened with the economy in 2008, many people made many sacrifices, but one thing that people ran to rather than ran away from was movie theaters. And movie theaters had a crazy, huge improvement. We had movies like The Dark Knight and others that really gave people an escape from the real world. And that's what people wanted, right? And I think that you could see that happen. I think there's already a large amount of people who are around the gaming community right now that are more enthusiastic than ever. But I could see this gaming community just spread this gospel of gaming news to everybody to say, look,
Yeah.
let's have fun. Doesn't matter where we are, what we're going through, and people would find a way to get themselves one of those consoles if they can. So yeah, hearing this about the productivity is just, I don't know, man. I could see this being a really big time for gaming these next couple of years.
Yeah. And apparently Switch production is back to 100%. So, so you guys should see. I know that there's Switch Lites available, at least on the Nintendo site. They're available right now,
Yeah,
on every color. So,
a friend of ours that told me for a while they were looking for a Switch. Messaged me a week ago, and they actually found one. So they're getting out there.
yeah. So I talked to a friend of mine this past week, and he's in the military. So he's been looking for a Switch for a few months now, since like around Christmas, and he hasn't been able to find one because, after Christmas, and this thing happened,
Yeah,
and then it's like impossible to find a Switch. And then he found someone on, I think, eBay, but then they went back on pricing. And long story short, it's like, oh man, it's like he was like out of options at that point. And then he had the brilliant idea of calling the local PX, and they had one. So the guy held it for him, and he was able to go pick it up for the 300, because GameStop had them, but they were bundling them with like the PowerA controller, and
yeah,
just an accessory bundle, and it was like $500 with all
yeah.
the the whole bundle that we're doing. So he was able to get it for MSRP, and he was pretty excited about it. So yeah. Yeah, those are getting hard to come by. I asked my daughter today. It's like, hey, so what kind of sword do you want for Christmas? Because I sort of need to start planning out these things right now. I like to get things ahead of time. I don't want
Oh
to. I don't
yeah.
want to wait around. Um, so she's still on the fence on wanting a Switch Lite, but I'll ask her again this week. But yeah, man, it's good. A lot of people, I've seen some people blame gaming during the quarantine and whatnot. And it's like, no, man, these things keep us sane. Trust me. If you, it's a totally different thing if you're playing games the whole day, and if that's all you do, then that's a problem, right?
Yeah, that's
But
not a gaming problem. That's a you problem.
that's a you problem, exactly. But you know what? That hour in the morning, man, that I don't have to commute. I just pop in a game. I
Yeah.
played Battlefront yesterday, and just that hour that I played Battlefront, I was like, oh man, this is so good. And then just hop into work, and I'm like, I get some of my aggression out. I wrecked first twice yesterday morning on two
Look at
matches.
you.
Yeah, man, did pretty good. Um, yeah, we had a pretty good squad. The guys were really like reactive and hanging out together. And it's like, oh yeah, this squad's good. So we did really good. But yeah, man, it's you know what you got to get your mind off of everything that's going on. It's an election year. People are on the edge, and I'm one that if it wasn't for gaming and just recording the podcast and doing my geeky stuff and watching memes on Facebook or whatever. And whatever you do just to get your mind off of things, it's it's totally acceptable as long as you're not harming anyone else with what you're doing. I think you're fine. So that's what I got, man. Short and sweet this week.
Yeah, I got
something else.
Yeah, I got one quick one. Comic-Con at Home happening next week. So one of the things that just came out today is a New Mutants. Is actually something that I've highly criticized for a while.
You wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've criticized
out.
So I've criticized that movie for a while and said it's not happening. Marvel's bringing it to Comic-Con at Home. They're going to bring the director and the cast to do a panel online, and they released a new trailer plus clip that came out exclusive for Comic-Con already from now in advance. So here's my prediction. That movie, they're going to announce right there and then, hey, this movie is going to go straight to streaming right away. I'm not saying Disney Plus. I'm just saying I could see it being like a rental and then like a Hulu or just straight to Hulu or something along those lines. But because they're not clear on, if I remember right, looking at it, and I saw a few people say this, they're not clear on an actual where it's going to be released, just that it's still supposed to be in August. I see. That's where I'm like, I don't think you just last minute throw it in a theater. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm still very, very – to the moment I sit down and I actually see New Mutants come across the screen, this movie is –
you need to see a title.
It's in somebody's head somewhere.
Yeah, you need to see a title. As long as you see a title, you'll be fine, right?
Yep.
That's funny. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's what we got.
That's what we got. Everyone, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen or watch us here at No Load Time. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you all are doing well. Stay safe. So go ahead and subscribe to our show. We're on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. So make sure to subscribe to us there. Also, we're our video version on YouTube. Also, make sure that you're following us on social media. So go ahead and follow us at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, you can send in your emails to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. We welcome it in case you have any questions, comments. We might be able to discuss it here on the show potentially, or just message you back personally, but we welcome it. And we thank you for sticking with us, and we got more great stuff coming up. So stay subscribed, stay following, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you again next time.